So hi everyone and welcome to this session. In this session we are dealing with histology, and in a span of few minutes we'll be covering around 10 important images or 10 important topics of images from histology. Welcome all, I am Dr. Ankit and you are into our YouTube channel Human Anatomy by Dr. Ankit. Let's start, right? So I will advise you to look at the image and just pause the video, think about which structure it is or which tissue it is, and then look at the answer which I am going to tell you with a couple of salient features. That's it. So here we have three images, A, B and C, right? And these three images are the images of the cartilages. So what are these cartilages? Number A image is actually the hyaline cartilage. Why? Because the matrix appears glassy or hyaline, having the same refractive index. Number B over here, having a lot of small reticular fibers like structure, will be the elastic cartilage. And number C, having a row of chondrocytes, as you can see over here, will be the white fibrocartilage. Now where do these cartilages are actually found in the human body? That is what you have to look at, right? But remember the differences over here in three types of cartilage. Next figure, I hope you can easily identify it. Pause and identify. You are looking at a lot of Haversian system. It is a slide of a compact bone having a transverse section of the compact bone, having a Haversian system, Haversian canal and concentric lamellae, and canaliculi will be obviously the between the lamellae and all these things. Okay, so this is how you can identify it. Next slide over there, not a very easier one, but you can see this irregular shaped trabeculae over here. This is all the trabeculae over here, right? And between you can see the bone marrow over here. Not an easy slide to identify, therefore just kept it after the bone. This is actually a slide of the cancellous bone. This is actually a slide of the cancellous bone. Do try to identify it. Next slide over here. Now you can see very well. Try to pause and look at the features. If possible, don't look at the labeled part, right? These are mainly taken up from the atlas of the human histology books, right? So which slide it is? Try to identify which slide it is. The slide over here is a slide of a muscle, right, that we can easily identify, but which sort of muscle is skeletal or cardiac? Normally this is a common confusion. Is it a skeletal or is it cardiac, right? Now see, there are a lot of differences. In a cardiac muscle, you see a lot of branched muscle fibers. You see intercalated disc, and obviously striations are seen in both of them, but the other main differences are what are the nucleus, right? Here if you look at, this is the longitudinal section, that is transverse section. In the transverse section you see the nucleus of the muscle fibers are in between, right? So they are peripherally arranged large nucleuses over here. This is a slide of the skeletal muscle. This is a slide of the skeletal muscle. So striations will be common. There will be non-branching and peripherally placed nucleus. But if on the other hand you look at the cardiac muscle, I'm telling you beforehand, this is a cardiac muscle. So try to differentiate between cardiac and skeletal, both of them. That could be a very good question. What you see is a lot of branched muscle fibers, right? And a lot of this nucleus which are centrally placed. These are all the centrally placed nucleus. Striations are not that much easier to see, but they will be there. You can see them. What will be more difficult to identify is the presence of these intercalated disc. These are all your intercalated disc present in the cardiac muscle fibers. This is how you can identify. Now here is just a quick what we can say difference between the skeletal muscle slide, the cardiac muscle slide, and obviously the spindle shaped smooth muscle slide, right? Fair enough. Let's see the next one. Now this is obviously a part of the spinal cord. A very good upcoming question. Let me tell you beforehand which part of the spinal cord. Now this part over here, you can see this A and B image. So this upper image over here, having a lot of white matter and a lot of gray matter. In the gray matter, you can see a big thick ventral gray horn. Apart from that, if you look at the dorsal column, there is a distinction between the fasciculus cuneatus and gracilis. Remember the fasciculus cuneatus, it is taken up from the upper limb, it's part of the dorsal column, right? And thickened white gray matter with a separate few fasciculus gracilis and cuneatus, it is a part of the cervical part of the spinal cord. If you look below, then obviously the amount of the gray matter has fallen substantially, and also that of white matter. Plus over here L is written. This L is actually referring to what? To the lateral gray horn. We are looking at a thoracic part of the spinal cord. As you descend down, the thickness of the white and gray matter will obviously decrease. Okay, this is cervical and thoracic part. Now if you look over here again, suddenly the gray matter size has increased, and you are seeing a lot of roots over here, right? This is a part of the lumbar spinal cord. Now you can see there's no separate gracilis and cuneatus. This is lumbar. If you look over here, obviously the white matter has diminished, but you are seeing a lot of cauda equina over here, a lot of cauda equina. This is actually a sacral part of the spinal cord. Okay. Okay, let's move to this one. This is frequently asked slide. It's a slide of which structure? It's a slide of the part of the brain. Pause and think. Cerebellum. If you can see without labeling, try to test yourself, right? It's a competition in the exams is basically competition within yourself. Don't compare yourself with any other. Competition is always, has always been, will always be within yourself only. That is a thing which can never go away, right? So we are looking at a slide of cerebellum. Outside is the gray matter, and the inside this is all white matter. This is all white matter. Let me highlight few things over here. The gray matter and the white matter. What else you need to see over here is the Purkinje cell layer that is frequently asked. Why? Because these are one of the largest neurons in the whole CNS. Okay, if you want to see it in detail, this is in detail the same cerebellar, right? This is the same cerebellar cortex, right? Same cerebellar cortex over here. What they have been asking on a regular basis are these Purkinje cell layer. These are all the Purkinje cells layer. But do remember, outside Purkinje you have molecular, and deep to it you have a granular cell layer. There's molecular, Purkinje, and granular. This is cerebellar, gray matter. Deep to it we have a white matter. Deep to it we have a white matter. Fair enough. So these were all the images which I just want to discuss today. Try to revise them. Open your own notes, books, textbooks, whatever sources you have. Try to revise them. The thing is, you should, how to test it. See, the moment you see the slide, you should be sure this is this slide. That's it. That's the only way. And how will you do that? You see a couple of salient features in that slide and have some basic idea what is that cell doing over here, because it's all about the functional histology. Fair enough. So that's all. We'll meet again tomorrow with some other slides of the histology. Thank you.